In the valley of Willow Hollow, where colorful rooftops dotted the green hills and songbirds filled the air with music, everyone had heard of the giant who lived in the misty cliffs above. He was enormous, taller than the tallest tree, with hands big enough to scoop up an entire pumpkin patch. His footsteps made the ground tremble slightly, and when he laughed, it sounded like distant thunder. The villagers, especially the children, were afraid. "Stay away from the cliffs," parents would warn. "The giant might scoop you up." But what no one knew was that the giant, whose name was Grindel, was not scary at all. In fact, Grindel was the gentlest soul in all of Willow Hollow. He loved painting pictures with the colors of wildflowers, building towers out of river stones, and watching butterflies dance through the air. Most of all, Grindel dreamed of having friends. From his perch, high above the village, Grindel would watch the children play. Games of tag, races across the fields, and laughter that floated up to his lonely home. He wished more than anything that he could join them, but every time he tried to come close, the villagers screamed and ran away. Grindel's heart ached. "I must be too frightening," he sighed, sitting sadly by his cliffside garden. But one day, Grindel had an idea. "If I can't say hello without scaring them," he thought, "maybe I can show them I'm friendly in another way." The next morning, as the sun rose over Willow Hollow, the villagers found something incredible in the town square. A massive bouquet of wildflowers, larger than a wagon, tied with a bow made from vines. Tucked inside was a tiny note, written with great care. "For my neighbors, I hope it makes you smile." The villagers were puzzled, but a few smiled. Some even placed the flowers outside their doors. Still, most stayed wary. Not giving up, Grindel continued leaving gifts. Giant carved toys, wooden horses big enough for 3 children to ride, enormous kites that soared high enough to nearly touch the clouds, baskets full of sweet fruits gathered from the highest branches no one else could reach. Slowly, the fear began to melt. One afternoon, after a heavy rain, the bridge into the village collapsed. No one could cross the river to bring supplies from the next town. Everyone worried. How would they rebuild it in time? Then came a deep, gentle voice from across the broken bridge. "I can help, if you'll let me," Grindel called softly. The villagers hesitated. Mothers clutched their children. Fathers frowned. But little Lily, the mayor's daughter, braver than most, stepped forward. She smiled and waved. Grindel carefully waded into the river, each step slow and cautious. With his giant hands, he placed smooth stones in the water one by one until a strong path formed. When he finished, the villagers cheered. Children ran across the new stone bridge laughing. Some even ran up to Grindel, offering him flowers and candies. That day, Grindel hosted the biggest picnic Willow Hollow had ever seen. The children perched on his shoulders and slid down his arms like playground slides. Grindel laughed, a warm, joyful sound that rumbled like a cozy drum, and the villagers laughed with him. From that day on, no one in Willow Hollow feared the giant anymore. They learned that kindness could live inside even the largest, scariest-looking creatures, and that true friendship sees beyond appearances. Grindel finally had what he had wished for all along. Friends who loved him just as he was. And if you ever visit Willow Hollow today, you'll find a special stone bridge, still strong after all these years, with a carving in the center. Moral of story is that kindness shines brighter than appearances.